participating in the seminar of heads of educational institutions meant for training candidates to succeed in various competitive examinations, the chairman said. My dear friends, I am very happy to be amongst you and would like to tell you how to achieve success in our aim by way of group discussions. Such group discussions depend not merely on knowledge one enjoys in the subject chosen for the discussion or one's gift of the God, but also on the ability of the candidate to inspire and motivate the group and carry the group mates with him. Of course, knowledge of the subject as well as power of expression are indeed very important, but they alone will not serve the purpose. We can say they are the foundations and starting points to build the edifice on the foundation and to reach the finishing point as definite winner from the beginning. One requires the leadership quality. This is the underlying secret for success in group discussions. You know why? Because that is a personality test as compared to other written or objective tests. To be brief, the candidate must create a strong and favorable impact on the group in which he is a member. This alone will assure success. Please remember that with knowledge and power of expression, or for that matter, even with mere power of expression alone, one might be able to create a strong impression on the group. If you speak with great fluency, authority, and emphasis using flowery language for some length of time, you would certainly attract attention and make some impact on your audience. For achieving all these things, you should have good knowledge in English language. The demand for English language is growing day by day. This language is not confined to any individual country. All the countries have recognized the growing importance of English even for the purpose of international economic and commercial transactions. They take a keen interest in promoting the study of English. In earlier months, we did organize similar workshops wherein the emphasis was made on the relationship between the student and teacher, not forgetting the role of the parents. Let me reiterate some of those points. Under ideal conditions, true education could be imparted by parents and there should be minimum outside help. In other words, parents are the first teachers. If character building is the highest destiny shop to service our watch, there are in fact three types of repairs which need to be effected: repairing the watch, repairing the feelings of the customer, and repairing the damage done to the company's image. Attention therefore has to be given to the physical environment in which the customer is received, the manner in which he or she is dealt with by the service personnel, speed and quality of the repair service, and the charges for repairs are also important. We believe that the servicing of a watch should be treated as an opportunity to strengthen the bonds between the brand and its user. Another great opportunity awaits your company in the area of fine jewelry. The world's biggest buyers are turning to Asian suppliers in search of lower prices and higher volumes. India has a large pool of human resources equipped with the requisite skills and available at a fraction of the cost of counterparts in developed countries. It is this opportunity that we want to seize, bringing to the task the many skills which we have acquired in the business of making and selling watches. Next year is expected to be crucially important for companies' development. My dear Prime Minister, I address you for the second time so soon after the first because the statement about the situation in India made in Parliament by the Secretary of State indicate a degree of complacency on his part which to one on the spot seems scarcely justified. My duty as Privy Councillor also constrains me to place my views before you, although those views are no better than misgivings and apprehensions. A friend of mine assures me that he is writing to the Secretary of State much to the same effect, and that is why I refrain from sending him the enclosed document and comments upon it. The document is an account of the doings of the police in my district, which is signed by well-known citizens. I can vouch personally for the character and high standing in public life of many of them. If a public inquiry is refused and the government deny the facts in the Legislative Council, the likelihood is that 9 out of the 10 intelligent persons would believe the version of the signatories without hesitation. I do not forget the difficulty of those that have to keep order. Nonviolent civil disobedience is a novel method of agitation, and the public sympathy and attention which the agitators obtain put the authorities in an awkward position.